If you are looking for the front page of DeFi, look no further than Zerion.io. Zerion is your home base for managing your DeFi portfolios. Zerion offers a central place for you to engage with all of the DeFi protocols and assets that you engage with on a daily basis, but all in one central spot. Here you can see I've loaded up a wallet, and Zerion is giving me the portfolio performance of all the assets in this wallet over time, as well as a breakdown of all the assets that I own, as well as all of my transaction history that I've ever done in an easy to view fashion. Zerion also lets you invest right into DeFi's best yielding financial opportunities right from their homepage. Zerion also makes it super easy to access interest in DeFi using applications like Compound and Aave in the background. And you can also exchange your assets using the Zerion app using an exchange aggregator in the background to make sure that you always get the best rates. You can even use the Zerion mobile wallet to add your MetaMask or Argent or another Ethereum address right into your mobile wallet so you can see your portfolio and engage in DeFi on the go. Here I just loaded up my Argent wallet, and now I'm going to load up my MetaMask as well. And Zerion will do the same thing. It will add all of my assets and wallets together all in one space and give me a portfolio summary of what's going on. Adding wallets is trivially easy. If you already have a MetaMask, you can get it right into the Zerion app, and it can sync with your desktop app as well. And the best part is you can also buy Ether right into the app itself. Use the Invest tab to look at all the things that you have invested in, as well as other opportunities. And coming soon to the Zerion app is the ability to buy and sell your assets straight from your mobile device as well. So download the app. It works on iOS and Android. Go to Zerion.io, plug in your wallets, and get a historical report of your portfolio over time, as well as a comprehensive breakdown of all the assets that you own and how much yield they're generating for you. We're also brought to you by Monolith. Monolith is your cool new DeFi account, your DeFi savings account, your DeFi checking account. Except the cool thing about the Monolith DeFi account is that it gets software updates, right? You actually get to increase the usefulness of this over time. So here are some of the features. Monolith is a smart contract wallet with a lot of the features that you would expect if you've come to know DeFi and what it is. You can add money to it. You can put that money to work in Compound and accessing yield. But you can also swap through Uniswap. What was cool with Monolith is that they will send you a very sexy Monolith Visa card that connects to your Monolith smart contract wallet on Ethereum. So it's a really awesome tool to live a bankless life with a savings account that gets software updates. So this is something that you're never going to find out in the real world, but you can still do real world things with real money, like buy your groceries. So that's just fantastic. Coming soon to Monolith, actually already here to Monolith, is now you can buy DAI and get it sent to your wallet directly, right? So it's also being an on-ramp. So you don't have to go through your centralized exchange like Coinbase or Gemini or wherever. You can just go straight from your bank account right into your Monolith checking account smart contract wallet. So check them out at monolith.xyz. All right, welcome Bankless Nation. This is a quick emergency video because something really cool just happened. And so I just woke up. It's 5:40 in the morning. I pull out my phone because I'm addicted to my phone, and I pull up the Ether price because I'm addicted to the Ether price. And I see that Ether has hit $500. Anthony, what does that mean? Why are we above $500? What happened?
So this means that it's the first time ETH has been at $500 since July 2018. So it's been over 2 years, 2 grueling years of a very
years.
long years of a bear market. And I think, generally, pretty much everyone is in agreement that we're in a bull market. But for ETH, there was, I guess, if you're a trader, there was a technical kind of resistance at $490. And once that went, we could fly. Basically, the ETH price could fly. So we're over 500. We can go a lot higher now. I think we're going to go a lot higher. And it's about time we join the party, right? We've been watching Bitcoin go crazy for the last few weeks, and we're just sitting on our hands, being like, okay, when's it our turn? So I think now is our turn.
Is 500 a significant number? Or like you said, was it actually 490 and 500 is just proximate to that? Is this a psychological barrier? Is 500 meaningful? Or are we just talking about nice round numbers here, or what's going on?
Yeah, I think 500 is mostly psychological, but at the same time, I think, the fact that we haven't been in the 500 price range for so long is just something that, you know, traders and investors look at, you know, just as like they would look at like an all-time high price, for example, and say, you know, that's bullish, right? It's bullish that we haven't been there for over 2 years and we got back there. It's like every time Bitcoin, you know, in its history has always bounced back. You know, that's why people are still so bullish on it. I think the same happens with ETH, and you know, obviously ETH and Ethereum get a lot of flack from the wider community, right? And it's always like, oh, it's dead. You know, the price is going to dump. It's worth nothing. You know, whatever. It's only used for gas. And then ETH does the same thing as Bitcoin. It keeps bouncing back.
So like we've seen just a ton of hype in the external world about Bitcoin, right? We're seeing Bitcoin show up back again on CNBC. Nick Carter just did a fantastic job shilling Bitcoin on CNBC. We just saw some rapper, quote unquote, YOLO into Bitcoin. Maisie Williams tweeted about Bitcoin, right? Like Google searches for Bitcoin are starting to like do their like retail creep upwards. But meanwhile, Ether, like Bitcoin is at 18,500, which is like within striking distance of his previous all-time high. Now, we're all super stoked about Ether at 500, but you know, that's a long way away from Ether at 1,400. However, you know, prices can move really quickly. So like, how far away are we from 1,400, do you think?
I don't think we're very far at all. If you look at what, you know, as Bitcoin as an example, right? It was at 10K only a few weeks ago, and now it's over 18K. So that's an 80% move in a large cap cryptocurrency. So if ETH moves 80% from say $400, you know, that's going to be a lot higher. And I think we're going to move quite quickly now. As I said, that last resistance was basically the last thing for, I think $800 is kind of the next technical barrier. But, you know, it's because we didn't spend much time between $500 and $800. Historically, people look at that and buy it up. But, you know, I think on the Bitcoin front and how we've seen that go up so much lately, you know, Bitcoin, as you were alluding to, owns the macro narrative, right? It is what the mainstream outside of the crypto ecosystem focuses on. But I think Ethereum owns the insider narrative, right? In crypto, right? All the most exciting things are happening on Ethereum if you're in crypto already, like DeFi,
including
and things
Bitcoin.
like that. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, you know, if you're getting into crypto and then you come through the front gate, which is Bitcoin, you're inevitably going to find Ethereum, and then you're going to find out why Ethereum is so awesome. So, I mean, Bitcoin having an awesome macro narrative is amazing for Ethereum.
Yeah, I totally agree. Back in 2016, 17, when we had the previous bull cycle, like I think it was easier to get into the crypto space and then make a decision as to like where your camp was. And in this world, like, and especially with Ethereum, where it's like, okay, there's this cool Ethereum thing. What's its purpose? It does ICOs. Well, that's dumb. Like, I mean, I guess ICOs are making a lot of money, but like intrinsically, is that cool? Like, no. But now we can say like, okay, what's Ethereum for? It's like, oh, all generalized financial activity, exchange infrastructure, borrowing, lending, like some stuff that mimics the old financial world. And so I'm personally bullish on the fact that like new entrants into the world of Ethereum can become much more compelled by what Ethereum has to offer today than what it had to offer in 2017.
Yeah, yeah. You know what's really funny is that I don't think you've read it yet, but this is exactly what I said in today's Daily Gwei piece.
Oh,
I said
fantastic.
that, yeah, I said this exact thing where last time we were you know, in these price ranges back in 2017, exactly, it was all just ICOs, right? And we had the most crude of decentralized exchanges with Ether Delta.
Oh, God.
And now we have an entire bankless system, right, for people to come into. So that in itself is going to be so exciting for new people, I think. And they're going to get so much more value out of Ethereum this time. You know, unlike last time. Yes, there's going to be most likely going to be another speculative mania, right? Like we saw, but it's lasting and it's real. There's going to be real value created. It's not going to be, you know, like what we saw in 2017, I think.
Yeah, and it's sticky value too, right? Because like ICOs, when people came into Ethereum to do ICO stuff, like again, that was 90% of the activity back in 2017. ICOs weren't sticky, but like Uniswap AMMs and MakerDAO vaults and depositing money into Aave or Compound, these are sticky. These are reservoirs of value, right? So you come in and you put your value in, and then it can stay there, and you can do things. Unlike ICOs, which are fleeting, right? And so having a sticky ecosystem is something that is intrinsically new to this bull run, and makes me particularly optimistic about how easily that Ether can get up to previous all-time highs.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and even to that point as well, even outside of what's happening on Ethereum 1, we have ETH 2 now, right?
Right.
Imagine you were around in 2017, you heard about this ETH 2 thing, right? There was a lot of hype back then actually about ETH 2 and staking and all this sort of stuff. And obviously, the hype, the price got way ahead of where it was, and the hype got ahead of where it was. And imagine you come back in now and you're like, wow, Ethereum's still sticking around. Oh, wow, they actually, they shipped proof of stake. I can stake my Ether now, right? So there's just too many exciting things happening that we internally have gotten so excited about, but I don't think we've really thought too much about how exciting it's going to be for new people and people coming back to the ecosystem. So I think that's what makes me most bullish on Ethereum and ETH in general. In that once you're in the crypto ecosystem, Ethereum owns the whole narrative. Like, it does. Like everything cool happening in crypto is happening on Ethereum. So I'm excited to see the new people come in.
Yeah, especially with that ETH2 comment. Like, I'm a big fan of the reduction of risk of Ethereum 2.0 being ultimately reflected in the ETH price soon, perhaps in December. And I know that you are a big believer in the fact that December is a good month for the ETH price. Can you go into why?
Yeah, so particularly against Bitcoin, for the last 5 years, ETH has bled against Bitcoin in November, or like I guess you could say October as well. And then in December, it tends to just explode upwards for some reason. And that's happened literally every year for the last 5 years for the ETH BTC ratio. You can go check out the chart and look at that. So it's very interesting, that's happened. And I expected it to happen this time as well. And we're actually seeing it happen right now. It's happening a little bit earlier than other times, but yeah, so it's from a trader perspective, they look at this, they look at these seasonal rotations, right? And they're like, okay, well, now is the time to be in ETH, right? And it's just a happy coincidence that ETH 2 is actually
Right.
launching in December too. So it adds just this incredible fuel to the fire. And the general bull market's back. I think DeFi is going to have some amazing tailwinds from that, and then as an extension, ETH will as well. So it's basically all coming together, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. If you go look at the ETH BTC chart, like exactly what Anthony's saying, you see this like Nike swoosh pattern. Like it's got this down drip in November, and then it just swooshes upwards really high in December, 5 out of 5 times. Like Ether's 5 years old. It's gone through 5 Decembers, and we're about to go through our 6th December. And so like if the rule follows, like the ETH BTC ratio is about to kind of I guess mean revert is the term that people use. Like Bitcoin's done really well. Bitcoin's almost at all-time highs. Ethereum's not at all-time highs. Ethereum theoretically could close that gap, right? Like there's a discrepancy there that I think is really bullish for the price of Ether.
Yeah, so I guess whenever Bitcoin's going up like it has, we're going to see other things bleed against it, right? Traders and speculators are just going to go into Bitcoin and everything else will bleed against it. But then the pendulum always swings back, right? And ETH, whenever ETH's going up, the other coins tend to go up with it. So you want, if you're in other coins and not in Bitcoin, you want Bitcoin to just be going sideways. You don't want it to be going up, because then your positions aren't going to be going up. But if you're a long-term investor which I am and you are, and I think most people should be, then you don't even have to worry about these things, right? If you're looking at the charts day to day, it's like torture, basically. Like, I mean, I look at the charts day to day and I'm just used to it. But if you're a newbie and you're looking at the charts all the time, you're going to just torture yourself watching these other things go up and your thing not go up. And then you're going to try and chase it and you'll just end up, hurting yourself. So I think in general, it's fun to think about, but it's not something that I would personally kind of like trade off or anything like that.
Right. Anthony, thanks for coming on the show and recording a quick video. Before we go, though, again, $500 ETH. What does this mean for Ethereum? Is Ether price and Ethereum just like these separate things? Or like how does this mean for the community? What does this mean for us? What does this mean for the ecosystem?
I mean, ETH price going up, like there seems to be some detractors around price of assets going up, and they think it brings in too many speculators, things get too crazy. Yes, it does, but the Ethereum network security is directly tied to the price of ETH, right? In proof of work and in proof of stake. The higher the price of ETH, the more secure the network is. That's the first order effect. Then there's a ton of other second order effects, right? The price going up is going to draw in new headlines. It's going to draw in new people to the ecosystem, right? Nothing draws in more users than a bull market in crypto. We've seen that play out every single cycle, going back to Bitcoin's basically when it was created. It's going to bring in, more developers, more apps are going to get built, more money's going to be invested into different things. We already saw that happen with DeFi Summer. So many people made a lot of money in DeFi Summer. And then the last couple of months, you've seen all these teams being funded, right? All these DeFi teams being funded, especially because people are like, wow, I have money and wow, DeFi is a thing. I'm going to fund that thing. So yeah, exactly. And of course, like people make money if they're invested as well, makes them feel richer, makes them want to do more things. So I don't see any negatives to the price going up. Like, yeah, you can be annoyed that the noise ratio, the noise goes up significantly in a bull market, but we need this, right? The money makes the world go round, right? Incentives make the world go round. And I think, ETH2 is going to be incredibly secure with the high ETH price, right? Like, the way the system is designed, a high ETH price makes it more secure than Bitcoin, right? With less resources needed, which is pretty insane. So yeah, it should be like, probably people listening to this or watching this definitely understand why the price going up is good. But for those who don't, yeah, it's not just so that everyone can get rich, right? It's so that we can actually bring this stuff to a wider audience, I think.
Yeah, there's nothing more beneficial to the Ethereum ecosystem than a bunch of people that believe in the Ethereum ecosystem from having like 3 times as much money as they previously did. If specifically ETH bulls have more money, they're going to do good things for Ethereum, right? So first and foremost, that's intrinsically good. Like salaries can be paid, more projects can be built, more reasons to come to Ethereum can be made. And then also at the same time, we have the monetary policy of minimum viable issuance. Now, my critique of minimum viable issuance is that it's subjective, but the bull case for that is that every time Ether price goes up, we can reduce issuance, right? Like the higher ETH price goes, the lower we can issue more ETH for security. And so that just adds to the scarcity of Ethereum, which adds to the protection and security of Ethereum. And that kind of just turns into a self-fulfilling prophecy. And so I think this is how we actually get to 10K. Like Ether gets to 500, people invest in Ethereum, we lower Ether issuance, and then we continue doing that all the way till 10K.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. And I guess also on what you said just before about how, ETH bulls who have been invested in ETH for a long time, them having more money to play with is really beneficial for the ecosystem. And that's true. I mean, me and you, we've been through the bull market. The bear market. We invested during the bear market, and we're seeing, the tailwinds of that. And we're obviously, making money as ETH goes up. We're going to reinvest that, right? Look at you, right? You're producing so much content with Bankless, along with Ryan and everything. Like, not to toot my own horn, but I'm doing a lot within the Ethereum ecosystem as well, trying to educate and things like that. And I'm not going to say that it's all altruism, right? I'm making money. I'm being able to sustain myself and things like that, sustain the work that I do. So yeah, I just don't see any negatives to the price going up. And it puzzles me whenever people complain about it. Yes, life isn't all about money. It's more than that. But money is an enabler, right? It enables you to do the other things that are important.
Yeah. Plus, also, the price of Ether is a reflection of the health of Ethereum, right? And so, like when Ether was $80, there was a lot of discoordination in the Ethereum ecosystem. Now, I'm not saying like ETH at 10K is also going to therefore mean that Ethereum is just like perfect and coordinated and super healthy. That's actually probably an unsustainable number. But again, like generally the more it slowly increases over time, the better. And it does that over time, like for a very long period of time. And so the times when Ether price goes up is a time of festivities, of like being able to enjoy in the spoils that we created during the bear market, right? The toil that we went through. Anthony, thank you so much for coming on and helping us understand Ether at $500. If people want to find out more about you and what you do and all the content that you put out, because intrinsically, whoever is listening to this is a content consumer, where should they go?
Yeah, you can just follow me on Twitter at Sassal0x. So that's SASSAL 0x. And you'll find everything that I'm doing on there in my bio.
Cool. And I think you have some exciting, cool announcements coming out next week. So we will get you back on to talk about that when the time comes.
Yeah. Looking forward to that.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Anthony.
Awesome. Thanks, mate.
If you want to live a bankless life, you need to get a hardware wallet. There is no alternative for storing your crypto in a self-sovereign fashion. That's why I have 4 ledgers that I use to manage my different crypto assets using the Ledger Live account as well. Ledger Live is like your home base for managing your Ethereum, DeFi, and crypto accounts. It does a really good job of aggregating all of your different Ethereum wallets if you are the type of person that uses more than one. But you can also add other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Cosmos or whatever your preferred blockchain is. And then it will display an aggregate portfolio of all your accounts at the main page. One thing that Ledger is doing a really good job of is enabling all of the money verbs that me and Ryan talk about with the Bankless skill cube enabled in the Ledger Live app. So right now in the Ledger Live app, you can buy, sell, lend, swap, and stake your crypto assets, which is doing a really good job of fulfilling all of the money verbs in the Bankless skill cube. Something that's new to Ledger Live is Ledger Swap, where you can swap assets one for another directly inside the Ledger Live application, ensuring trustlessness in your financial activity on Ethereum and on Bitcoin. If you want to learn more about what you can do with a ledger, go to the blog post, The Power of Ledger Live on the Ledger website, where they share some of the more advanced things that you can do with your ledger that you might not have known about. There's a link in the show notes that will take you to the Ledger shop where you can get your preferred Ledger hardware wallets. I personally like the Ledger Nano X, but I also have both. They're both great options. When you own a ledger, you own your own assets in the way that they have been designed to be held by the user and the user alone. So go get your ledger today to make sure that you are as self-sovereign as possible. The Bankless State of the Nations are brought to you by Yearn. Yearn is DeFi's first self-building community-run project, which I just get really, really excited about. Yearn is a system that seeks out yield in DeFi, and it does that in a number of different ways. A very aggressive way is with the vaults, where you can deposit your preferred asset of choice, and different DeFi experts will come in and generate a strategy for what to do with your deposited token, right? And so it'll go find ways to get yield in that deposited token in DeFi. For those who want to just earn yield on their stablecoins, the Yearn system is for you, where you can deposit your preferred stablecoin and Yearn will go and figure out which money market on DeFi in DeFi is producing the best interest rate, whether it's DYDX, it's Compound, or Aave. It looks around DeFi to see where the yield is coming from, and it directs stablecoins automatically so you don't have to. Check them out at yearn.finance to get started, and also check out the stats page to see what other people are doing as well.